Hello everybody and Happy New Year. Thank you for everyone that actually saw the very first video that I posted on YouTube. This is actually going to be my first official vlog. So what am I going to talk about today? Well, I happen to be a very big fan of movies and music, so on and so forth. And what I've been doing for quite a couple of years for friends and family is telling people what I thought the best of the best were as the years have moved on, and tell them exactly what my opinions were, what my final cuts were, so on and so forth. As far as movies go, I am a big fan of movies. I try to see at least a month's worth of movies. That's like, give or take, 29 to 31 within a span of a year. So that's a lot of movies, especially going to the theaters. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys the 30 movies that I think I am going to really want to see in 2011 that I think are pretty noteworthy and that you should see them too. And at the end of the year, I'm going to post my final 5 predictions as to what I think were the best of the year and tell you what my best of 2011 was. So, moving on, what are 30 movies that I want to see in 2011? Well, we're going to start off with especially the one that everybody knows about. The Green Hornet is one of them. I think it's going to be a great movie. Paul. If you're fans of Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz and Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, Simon Pegg and Nick Frost are coming back to you in a great science fiction comedy. The animated film Rango with Johnny Depp, Zack Snyder's Sucker Punch, which is getting a lot of buzz, Rio, which also looks like a really cute animated film, Water for Elephants with Reese Witherspoon and Robert Pattinson, looks fantastic based on the book. Of course, everybody knows about Thor. The sequel to Pirates of the Caribbean, The Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. Of course, Johnny Depp and Jeffrey Rush will be reprising their roles, with Penelope Cruz joining the cast as well. Priest, the well-anticipated X-Men First Class, J.J. Abrams' Super 8, Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively in The Green Lantern. Everyone's looking forward to that one, especially me, big Green Lantern fan. Cars 2, Transformers: The Dark of the Moon. I sure hope it's better than the second one. The final conclusion of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. If you haven't seen the first installment, it is great. You have to see that one before you see this one, of course. Larry Crow. It's an interesting movie about Tom Hanks. I don't really want to give it away. I honestly don't know much about it, but look into it. It looks pretty good. The sequel to The Hangover, don't really have much high hopes, but if I'm looking for a good comedy, I'll probably see it. Winnie the Pooh. Captain America, the First Avenger with Chris Evans and Hugo Weaving. Daniel Craig and Harrison Ford in Cowboys and Aliens. Now, yes, that movie name sounds terrible, but like I said, Daniel Craig, Harrison Ford, Olivia Wilde's in it. It is the executive producing of Steven Spielberg. Producer Ron Howard and Brian Grazer are on board. It's directed by Jon Favreau. How could this possibly be bad? I mean, come on! Look at all those names! You gotta go see it! I know I will. The Smurfs, Mr. Popper's Penguins, which stars Jim Carrey based on the famous children's book. Very much looking forward to that. A brand new revisioning of The Three Musketeers with a bunch of no names except for Christoph Waltz, who you know from Inglourious Bastards and will be in The Green Hornet and Water for Elephants. This is a monster year for Christoph Waltz, and ever since I saw him in Inglourious Bastards, I knew that he was going to go places, and I'm so glad that this year we are really going to see him in many different films, in many different kinds of characters, so I'm really excited for that. Puss in Boots, which is actually a prequel of the Shrek saga, based on how Puss became Puss in Boots. And what makes it so interesting is this is going to be the very first time that Antonio Banderas and Selma Hayek have teamed up since Desperado. So, from Desperado to Puss in Boots. Interesting. The official sequel to Sherlock Holmes 2, loved the first one. Jude Law and Robert Downey Jr. are back, and I think it's going to be really a lot of fun. The third Harold and Kumar film, a very Harold and Kumar Christmas. Enough said. Alvin and the Chipmunks 3D, I enjoyed the first two. I'm a big Chipmunks fan, so I'm excited to see that. The American version of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, directed by David Fincher, who just recently directed The Social Network, one of the best films of 2010. Very high hopes, love the book, very excited to see it. The Adventures of Tintin the Golden Unicorn, which is this big project that Steven Spielberg has been working on with a lot of other writers and film producers. It's a stop-motion film. It looks great. Also, Simon Pegg and Nick Frost are in this as well, along with a bunch of other famous actors. It's a stop-motion animated film. It looks really interesting. It's the first of 3. Steven Spielberg is the director. I don't see anything happening to be negative as far as this movie is concerned, so I'm excited. And probably one of the most anticipated movies to come out in this holiday season, Jason Segel's The Muppets. The Muppets are coming back, and what I love about this movie is it is based upon the actual Muppet show, the variety show from the 1970s, which I was a big fan of. I have the first 3 seasons on DVD. Very excited to see what it's going to be. So, enjoy this 2011. Those are the 30 movies that I would like to see. I'll let you know what the 5 movies that I think are going to be the best of the best at the end of the year. And you know something? Maybe a new one will just come out of nowhere, and I'll definitely be ranting and raving about that one because it tends to happen. Last year it was Black Swan. So, enjoy and have a wonderful time at the movies this year, guys.